Thank you, Andy, for joining us today, and I greatly appreciate it. And as I was saying, this is our actually a second version of this. I accidentally had some technological difficulties with our first, so I very much appreciate you coming to come and accommodate me today.
Oh, I look at the first one as a rehearsal, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for doing your holiday season. I hope you're having a good holiday so far.
It's been very hectic.
Yeah,
Yes,
I can attest. I can agree. And we actually have a special guest today. Is my dog Scout.
Your dog Scout. Oh, she's lovely.
All right. Well, when did you join the White Plains Democratic City Committee?
I joined the White Plains Democratic City Committee in 2019. Moved here from Connecticut in 2018, I've always been very interested in politics. I grew up totally around politics in my house. My dad was the chairman of the Greenberg Democratic Party back in the 60s, when Greenberg was all Republican. So that was fun. And my brother was also heavily involved in politics for a while. So it's kind of been in my blood. But I became a journalist. So as a journalist, I couldn't get involved in politics, of course, until I stopped. I went freelance. I was doing something different, so I was able to get involved in politics. And then when I was in Connecticut, I was living in Connecticut. In about 2010, I got involved in politics up there, and I was chairman of the Democratic Party up in New Milford, Connecticut. We actually swept the election in 2015, and it was the first time the Democrats had won in New Milford in 12 years. So that was great. That was a good experience. So that encouraged me to join the White Plains Party.
That's amazing, and what a quite a extensive resume. And thank you for joining. We greatly much appreciate it and all of your insight. And then you started to tell us, but can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your family and anything you'd like to share?
Oh, well, I was actually growing up, everyone thought I was going to be the next Howard Cosell. Because I was also, besides being a political geek when I was a kid, I was also a sports geek.
Oh, very cool.
I ended up going into news instead of sports. And I started out in radio, and then I did print. Actually, I worked for the New Rochelle Standard Star for a couple of years, and then so I was been in newspaper work. I ended up covering the media and television as a business, and that was my pretty much my life until about 2003, 2004. I worked for Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, some other publications that people might have heard of. And then in 2004 or so, we had adopted a girl from China, and I was commuting from the city, and I was never seeing her, so I decided I became Mr. Mom, and so I been doing freelance work ever since then.
Very cool, and that's very interesting, and thank you so much for sharing all of that. And what have been some of your roles while you've been on the WPDCC?
Well, let's see. I am currently the organization chair, and a good part of my job is recruiting people to join the DCC, trying to find people to run for office, trying to just people to join the DCC. It's important because it's very important to get people engaged in politics right now. It's a critical time for it, and I think people, especially young people, and even minorities from talking to people, are very cynical about what they can accomplish in politics. Everybody's the same. People are very critical. We saw that in the last election when a lot of Democrats didn't come out and vote for Kamala Harris. And I think it's very important that we convince people that politics is important, and even though the election was pretty much a disaster, not to give up and to hang in there, and things can change. I think the biggest part of my job is trying to get young people in the party and make us more diverse. And that's really the major part of what the organization chair does. And we've made some headway in that area.
And I can definitely attest that you definitely made some headway, and you've really been your recruiting efforts have been really great. I know we've been going to more to fairs in White Plains, festivals in White Plains, which has really been very fruitful. And in the last few meetings, especially, I've noticed a great uptick in interest and a lot of contribution from a lot of your efforts.
Yeah,
So
going to
thank
the
you.
festivals was huge. We had not been really doing that before. And we really attracted a lot of people, a lot of interest, people coming by our booth, asking questions, wanting to get involved. That was huge, and we're going to do more of that in the future.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate all of your ideas and interest, and I really find it inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I know it's also a very big time commitment, so we do appreciate all of that. And we always are looking for more people, and always feel free to reach out.
Well, I also want to thank you for your work
Oh,
on the Democratic Committee. You're very active and involved, and I think everyone really appreciates the job that you do.
well, we work together, which is the best part of the
That
committee.
is the best part.
And bouncing off of that, what are some of your what's your favorite part of being a member of the WPDC?
Well, I think it's the great people that I've gotten to meet on the committee. It's really a bunch of really good people, great people. I'm just having a great time as well as trying to do a little bit good for society. I think that's really the best thing about it. And I that's why I also encourage people to join is that it's not just political, but you get to meet a really great bunch of people who really care about what happens and where we're going. And so that's why I every chance I get, I'm telling people, look, it's really great. It's not just politics, but it's also fun.
Absolutely, and one thing that I really appreciate about it, and again, a contribution of your efforts, is not only the diversity of the individuals in terms of ethnicity and age, but diversity of viewpoints, which is really nice to hear. Different interests that we can all discuss together, and it's really quite inspiring to be with everyone. So thank you for that.
It's like what Roger said about the Democrats. He's not a member of an organized political party, he's a Democrat.
And we tell jokes as well. And what would you recommend to future district leaders?
Hop in. When you come in, just step in with both feet. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to lean on people. We are going to start a mentorship program in the spring for new members as well, to make them feel more comfortable upon joining. I know when I first went to my first meeting before I joined, it was daunting. You don't know anybody, because I had just moved here and I didn't really know anybody in town. So it was daunting, but a lot of people made me feel welcome. And after you go to a few meetings and you get to know a few people, you begin to feel more comfortable. And people really appreciate it if you step up and work for the party. If you're active and you contribute, people really appreciate that. And I would just tell people to come on in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Everyone's very friendly. Nobody bites. It's really just come on in and we'll welcome you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And what are some of your other roles within the White Plains community?
Politics pretty much takes up most of my time within the White Plains community. This is really outside of this. This is really my major volunteering effort as well.
But you give such a contribution to it, so it's really great to see you involved in this, and we definitely appreciate all the time that you put in. So let's pivot a little bit to some more fun questions. What is your favorite food to have during the holiday season or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate?
I love gingerbread cookies and making gingerbread houses.
That's
my
very
wife and
cool.
I get gingerbread houses and we decorate them. Well, she decorates them and I just slop on the stuff. She wants to make it look pretty, and I'm like, it's just something to eat. It's delicious, and I don't have an artistic bone in my body.
Oh, I'm with you on that one.
That's fun. And a pro tip on that is get the ones that where you don't have to mix your own icing. Get it pre-mixed. It's absolutely save the aggravation. It never turns out right if you try and mix it yourself. So that's my big tip of the year.
Well, I appreciate that because I've tried to make them in the past and they didn't turn out so well. But next year I'm on it with the pre-mixed one, and we'll have to compare. We'll compare which ones turned out better. I might have to go sneak over and take some from you and your wife. We'll
anytime,
see.
Anytime.
All right. But that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's lovely. And what's your favorite type of music?
I don't think I have one favorite type of music. It really depends kind of on your mood. Sometimes you're in the mood for oldies, sometimes you're in the mood to listen to new things, sometimes you're in the mood to listen to a little blues. I like to listen to a music format called Americana. Music that's kind of like roots. It's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. People like Iris DeMent, Nancy Griffith, Rodney Crowell. That's one of the things I probably listen to more than anything else.
Well, that's really great, and there's definitely some names that I gotta check out there. So
absolutely, definitely check all those people out.
Awesome. And what's a surprising fact about yourself?
A surprising fact about myself is that when I was I guess I was about 14 or 15. I think I was 15, and it's extremely geeky. There used to be a radio station in New York, WMCA. I think it's now Spanish station. But in around this time they were all talk. Mm-hmm. And there was a sports talk show on there as well. And I was on there twice as an expert on baseball trivia questions.
Ooh.
And people would call up and try and stump me on baseball trivia questions.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
That's what I did because when I was a kid, I read everything about baseball. I was the biggest, hugest baseball fan. This is why everyone thought I was going to be the next Howard Cosell. And so that is pretty much my claim to fame, and that's kind of when I peaked.
Can I ask what team you favor right now?
Oh, the Yankees.
The Yankees, your Yankees. Well, we're in a Mets household. I am actually, though, I have a weird tick about myself, is that when I was younger, I used to be a Yankees fan, but I sort of fell out of interest with baseball. To kind of re-spark my interest, my nerdy thing is every year I have set up a spreadsheet and randomly select a new team. And I become a fan of it's my random fandom.
So who was your team last year?
My team last year, and always actually, every year that I pick a team, the team is terrible, but the next year they're good. So check the Colorado Rockies this coming year are going to be good. But they were pretty bad last year. And I've actually picked my team for next year already, so I'm going to be a San Francisco Giants fan. So let's see, let's go Giants. So we'll have to check it out. But yeah, no, it's actually been interesting and kind of nice to learn about different teams that way. But you know, we all have our interests.
I don't follow it as much as I did when I was a kid. I still follow the Yankees, but not quite so much. I now do read other books other than baseball books.
But it's also very cool. You know, Mariano Rivera is basically our neighbor in very close nearby, live in White Plains, or his family does. So it's, you know, we have some Yankee blood right in the town. And Bernie Williams also, I've seen him playing guitar in downtown White Plains. So the Yankees frequent White Plains.
I'm going to tell you a big secret about Mariano Rivera.
Ooh.
He's a Republican.
Well, you know what? Baseball, both parties. That's the beauty of it.
Somebody once told me, a professor of mine in college once told me, that was a history major in college, and my history professor once told me that politics and sports don't mix, and that when you're rooting for sports, you're following a sports team, forget about politics, and just concentrate on the sports. So I don't hold that against him.
And I believe that sometimes you need a place where it's just something totally different, and that's a nice thing about it. So last question or questions. New Year's is next week.
Yep.
So with that on our mind, what is one New Year's resolution you have for yourself, and one New Year's resolution that you'd like to bring to the party or the committee?
One New Year's resolution for myself. is, I don't know, I mean, I'm perfect the way it is. Just kidding, just kidding.
I like
God, if
that.
my wife
It's,
heard,
you
if
know,
my wife heard
confidence
that,
is a good
she'd be
thing.
laughing pretty hard. I think I kind of have the same resolutions as most people. I think mine is to, I just joined the Y to go swimming.
Oh, nice.
So my resolution is to do more swimming.
That's very nice, and I hope no one can see my goggle face today, but I was actually swimming earlier today, and sometimes
good for
that's
you.
my tip is be careful what you do afterwards, because goggles sometimes don't always interact well afterwards. And what
Good for you.
about bringing to the committee?
I think, like I said, I think our big priority is the mentorship program this year. What we want to do is we want to start with people as soon as they come to their first meeting and make them feel comfortable. Sometimes you get people who come to a meeting and they come and they don't come back for various reasons. And I think what we need to do is shepherd them through first meeting and basically, you know, assign them somebody who will talk to them and answer any questions and any concerns that they have. And maybe they went to the first meeting and they didn't like it, and talk to them and find out like what they're interested in doing. We want to find out when people join the committee, excuse me, what people are interested in doing, because there's all kinds of things you can do on the committee. Some people like to make phone calls, some people don't like to make phone calls, some people don't like to knock on doors. There's all kinds of things you can do on the committee. So I think it's important that we find out early what people want out of the committee. What are they interested in? Are they interested in local issues? What local issues are people interested in? For instance, one of my major issues is affordable housing. People might have different issues that they're concerned about. So we just want to find out about people as much as possible about them and what they want to do and make them feel comfortable.
And also one thing that I love about the committee is there's also different roles that you can play in terms of being on the essay committee, working on newsletters.
Absolutely.
So we really not only have a diverse amount of issues that you can focus on, but different tasks that you can take, like you're mentioning. So it's that's something I do very much appreciate and encourage people to come in and explore.
Absolutely, that's a great point, Danielle. Is that there's many different roles that you can take. If you're not that interested in campaigning, if you feel uncomfortable going door to door and making phone calls, we have the essay committee, as Danielle pointed out. We have many other things that people can do if they don't feel comfortable doing other things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me?
What's your New Year's resolution?
That's a good one. One is that I would like to be better about, and I've been thinking about this, listening and admitting when I'm wrong, or recognizing that I can be wrong and willing to own up to that and being okay with that. Failure is not necessarily, and being wrong isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just growth. So that's one thing I'd really like to work on, and that's my New Year's resolution. But I've been thinking about it, so I prepared.
Oh, very good.
Well, and in terms of coming to the committee, one thing that I would like to do is I'd like to. So I was recently this last year appointed for the executive committee. So I'd like to work on that role and continue to work on that. And one thing I'd also like to do is at the last meeting I mentioned that I'm hoping to start a book club. And I'd really like to help that get off the ground, a book club for the committee to learn about different issues and to talk about those issues and see what we learn and kind of explore that as another option that the committee can do together and learn from.
Do people still read books?
I
didn't realize that people still read books.
Oh, they do, and I also have audiobooks, which are a great option as well. But no, I think that education is always a great sunlight, and we don't know everything. And I think that through reading, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, we all can kind of explore some issues that we're interested in and help us understand not only ourselves, but the people that we're working for and with a little bit better.
Sure. I absolutely agree.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And for round 2, I do appreciate that.
Not a problem.
And thank you, Scout, for being a good guest.
Oh, what a good dog.
All right, let me move this salami so she doesn't get that.
What a good Scout's boy. Good boy. Golden?
Yeah.
Is he golden?
Yes.